That NASCAR will introduce 3 new television shows, 2 of which will premiere tonight, and what I'll be doing right now, as a matter of fact. But by the time it's been uploaded, 2 of the 3 shows have already been released. The shows in question were Inside the Playoffs, Drop the Jack, and NASCAR Daily. For the playoff show, Dylan Mamba Smith, and rotation of a 4th person, rather be a driver, mostly a current or former NASCAR driver. In addition, Shannon will also host a YouTube show called NASCAR Daily, which will premiere on Monday. Smith, in turn, will also do a NASCAR show, also on YouTube, which is called Drop the Jack, in which he'll talk to various pit crew athletes and other guest stars. And his first episode has already been released when I made this video, though I haven't seen it yet personally. But it is available on YouTube and other platforms, with the playoff show premiering on Tru TV and Max, with Daly and Jack on YouTube. All 3 shows will be based from the NASCAR production studio at Charlotte. Now this had me thinking, could Shannon Spake work with TNT at some capacity next year for their 5 races? And what about Steve Letarte? Could he also join TNT's coverage next year in some capacity? We have to wait and see on those 2. But it is interesting just the same. Shannon Spake left Fox recently, and Letarte is still with NBC for the moment, and will be with the CW for the remainder of the 2024 season on the Xfinity side of things. Speaking of which, in order to get prepared, CW will sponsor Sheldon Creed this weekend in Atlanta, and Ty Gibbs the following weekend at New Hampshire, not New Hampshire, Watkins Glen. I meant to say Watkins Glen there, folks. It's part of the partnership that Gibbs has with the network. So I have to remind people that the Xfinity series will be going to CW in a couple of weeks. Now, as a reminder, no word yet on who's going to take over full-time in 2025 and beyond. Just that the NBC team will still do the Xfinity series races, since they'll still be producing those races for the time being. But once 2025 rolls around, they're on their own. And speaking of 2025, when Martin Truex Jr. begins his part-time season, his old crew chief Cole Pearn will join him for the 2025 Daytona 500. Although we don't know at this time who they're going to drive for, or how many races Truex and Pearn will be together beyond the 500. But it's great to see that the two of them will be reunited just the same. One other correction I want to talk about right quick before we dive into Atlanta is they may have said that Chandler Smith was going to calling in the Xfinity Series next year, and that's not the case. Actually, it's going to be Christian Ekins, who will leave the Truck Series and will go to the calling team next year for the Xfinity Series. I think he's going to take over one of the rides that the SEG drove this year. I'm not 100% sure of that, or was it AJ's ride? But anyway, point is, he's going to call you next year, and I do want to apologize for the misinformation on my part. So, with all that out of the way, let's talk Atlanta. As you know, in recent years, the Atlanta Motor Speedway has basically become a mini version of Daytona and Talladega, meaning that we could see a similar result to what we saw at Daytona and previewing Talladega. We'll get to that later in the season. Although personally, I like the new Atlanta because of the tight racing is produced. I get the hunt. I get the feel. I do get people wanting to go back to the way things were. But it's not going back the way things were. Should it though? That's another story altogether. But personally, I like the current version of Atlanta since it does produce great side-by-side racing, more often than not. Sure, it's because of the pack, and I get that. But you cannot deny the fact that there are more side-by-side racing in Atlanta after the switch than before the switch. And you can't deny that. Anyway, for the Xfinity Series, could this be the weekend that Sheldon Creed finally breaks through and gets his first Xfinity Series win? I don't think so. But I think Austin Hill might break, although I think Austin Hill is the favorite to win Atlanta, along with Cole Custer and Chandler Smith for that series. With Hill, I think, getting the win overall. On the Cup side of things, since the prep is on the way, what I'm going to do here is tell who I think is going to win Atlanta, and the four most likely will miss the playoffs after this round, of course. First, anything can happen in Atlanta in the Cup Series, and I think the four will be the odds-on favorite. And to me, I think Brad Keselowski will be the one to get the victory. Will get the job done in Atlanta and will advance to the next round based on his win. As for the four drivers I think might be concerned after Atlanta, I'm going to say Gibbs, Briscoe, Burton, and Centric will be the four I'd be concerned with after Atlanta. Now, I don't think they'll be the first four out yet, but I think those will be the first four that are we concerned going to Watkins Glen. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Now, would we? And as a reminder, I'll be here next time to recap Atlanta and talk about anything else that occurred along the way. But that'll do it for now. I'll see all of you next time. Bye.